you. This is our anniversary, and we're also celebrating International Women's Month as well, which is a fantastic thing. It's a whole of March. And we've got some great ladies here who will be telling you their journey, their story, and hopefully you'll be inspired by what you're going to hear today. How many of you got up early this morning to go to the next sale? None of you. That's cool. Next. I hope I'm not for that, but next. Okay. Just checking to see how many of you are up early this morning. And for those of you that are here now, how many of you attended in January? I should raise some hands. Lovely, a few of you. And you're back again today. Were you inspired?
Yes.
You were. Brilliant. Okay, now, no doubt, the journeys that you're going to hear could be your journeys. Okay? What makes a difference? Well, these ladies being here, and you ladies being up there. Any answers?
Time.
Sorry?
Time.
Hard work. Hard work. What else? Courage. Okay. Having the bottle. Enthusiasm. These ladies have this in abundance, and you do as well. Okay, because we're all leading ladies. The only difference is that they just kept on pushing, and they're on this side of the auditorium today. I know you're kind of all settled in your seats, but I just want to know if you could just come forward a little bit, or you want to stay where you're at? Stay where you're at. Okay. I understand, okay. Let me just say a little bit about me first before I bring and introduce you to the ladies here. My name is Jean Paul, and I, for one of my sins, I DJ. And being in that field, it's a very male-dominated field, okay? And to come through and still maintain Jean is quite hard, okay? Because a lot of the men will judge you straight away, and you just have to just stay true to yourself. So breaking through certain barriers is one thing that I've been able to do with the DJing. I'm actually on an internet radio station called the Soul of London Radio.com, and it's very interesting. Sometimes when I select the music that I will have on my playlist, that I get the guys that were on stations all saying, "Oh, that's a wicked set, girl, yeah." And it's like, I can do it because I love music, yeah? But they have, again, their perceptions and their preconceived ideas about you as a woman. So you have to just remember to stay true to who you are and not go on this casting couch mentality which used to exist many, many years ago. It's difficult, but you can do it. And that way you get so much more respected in the industry as well, because you haven't done the thing to get through. So that's a little bit about me, and I also work in the field of computing and have done for very many years. And that again is a very male-dominated field also. But you can break through these things. So just to give you a little insight that whatever you're going to do, whatever you're trying to do, you can succeed. Just stick with it. Okay? Today we've got some great ladies here. How the format's going to take place today is I'm going to introduce them to you. They're going to tell you about themselves, and then we're going to open up the floor for a Q&A session as well. Okay? So, to my left we have Jasmine Dottibola, and then we have Rhoda Wilson, and Ellen Thomas. Do you recognise it? Yeah. So, without further ado, I'd like Jasmine to start off today. So thank you very much.
I know it's really cool, and when we were at school it was cool to sit in the back of the bus and the back of the classroom, but honestly I'll say something to you. At this stage in your careers, already by being here you guys are really ambitious, but if you were really ambitious you would want to sit right at the front and you would want us to catch your eye, because when we recognise you again somewhere in the future I'll say, that was her, I remember. And honestly I can't tell you enough, because I went to these things, and no, it's true, I went to them, and people like Matt Ross, who was the head of Sony, Puffy when he was called Puff Daddy, etc., were sitting on the panel. And me and my people would sit right at the front, and then when they saw us again, or when they saw us outside, they'd recognise us, they'd take more time with us. So I can't emphasise to you enough how important it is that we see your faces and that you're close to us. It's never cool to be at the back where I can't see your face. That's what I wanted to start with, sorry. My journey is, and I'll try and be as brief as possible. My name is Jasmine Dottiwala. I currently am at the BBC and at ITV making youth and television specials for music and young people. Up until last year, I was the head of MTV Base for 4 years. Before that, for 10 years, I was at MTV News. I started as a presenter on MTV News, and then I was a producer and a director at MTV News. I made every programme that you can imagine MTV makes, from making the video, MTV Cribs. I travelled around the world with all your favourite artists. I joined MTV at a time when people didn't really believe in R&B and hip-hop, and they told me it would only last a couple of years. And I was like the sole female ethnic face in my department, in the whole company practically. And I took a lot of heat with people telling me that, you know, my kind of music wasn't going to last, it was all crap, it wasn't very intellectual, articulate. But I fought all the stereotypes, and probably being a female of colour was my greatest strength. And it's very strange because people always say to me, I bet it was really hard because you're a female of colour, was that a disadvantage? And I say, that was the best thing. Because in those days when you had Mary J. Blige and Joe Desi and people like that coming through, my colleagues who were white middle-class males didn't know how to talk to them. They didn't understand the music, they couldn't talk to them as an equal, they were all a little bit intimidated. I remember when I first joined MTV, Donna Ray was going to interview Mary J. Blige, and she was terrified because Mary had this really bad reputation. And she said, oh, can you tell me how I should deal with her? I said, Donna, she's a normal girl. As long as you speak to her as an equal, she'll be fine. And everyone's an equal, you know, just because you see celebrities up on pedestals. If you treat them like they're equals to you, you'll always get the best out of them. Before I was at MTV, I was a presenter on Channel 4 on a show called The Word in the 90s. Most of you will never remember it, because you won't be old enough, but The Word was the only music TV show at the time. It was on a Friday night at 10, 11 o'clock. It was very outrageous. I mean, it was really outrageous. It pushed boundaries. We were very controversial. We dealt with every kind of music, from rock, indie, hip-hop, etc. And I kind of made my first public face there. But before that, I worked for the same TV company. They were called 24, and they made The Big Breakfast Show. And The Big Breakfast used to be presented by Chris Evans and Gabby Roslin. And I was there at the right time, and just purely luck. I was a runner at The Big Breakfast. I used to make tea, photocopy scripts. You know, I really was a general dog's body, but I can't tell you guys enough how much I learned in that time. Because I think the problem now is everyone thinks, young people think, it's easy to become famous, it's easy to become rich really quickly because of all these reality shows. I'll tell you now, if that ever happened to you, you'd be there for 15 minutes and you'd be gone again and no one would hear from you, and that could be the worst thing that you ever went into. The only way you will get where you want to be is by hard work and passion for something you love. And the way I got into that was when I left university, I wrote letters to literally 100 TV companies, anyone and everyone you could think of. And the bad thing at that time was it was about writing or typing, putting letters in envelopes, stamps. It cost a lot of money. You guys have the advantage of emailing everyone. It's free. There's no excuse for you to say you can't do it. I never used to get replies back. Some people replied back with a standard letter, you know, thank you for your letter, we'll keep it on file, we don't have anything at the moment. And then one day, you know, I always say if you throw enough paint at a wall, something is going to stick. And eventually that company sent me a letter saying, are you interested in coming in for an interview to be a runner? I had 6 months of being a runner. It was amazing. It was exhausting, but I was surrounded by such exciting people, really, you know, good times, people showing me how to. The thing about when I was making cups of tea and photocopying, people don't notice me because I'm seen as a general dog's body. But what you don't realise is that's the time when you're learning. You're in the room with the editors and the journalists and the presenters and the celebrities. They're ignoring you, but you're soaking up everything. You're hearing everything, you're listening how to script things and how to present it, and you learn things without knowing you're learning things. So what I'd say to you is, if you're still studying, Really think about which areas you're good at. If you're nosy and you love good gossip with your girlfriends, you could be a great showbiz reporter. You might be a great showbiz journalist. If you're, you know, very opinionated about fashion, you might want to start a fashion blog and get people talking about it. But get people talking about you. People can love you, people can hate you, but that's how you get attention. And then you move forward in whatever field you want. And then the last thing I'll finish off with just here is, a lot of people say to me, oh, I want to be a TV presenter, but I also want to write, but I also want to do fashion. You can't do everything. Like, start off making your path and your journey in one field, become really good at it, and then if you want to move sideways and do a lot of other things, do that. I started in TV, I fell into presenting. I never wanted to be a presenter, I wanted to be a camera woman. They got me to present, it was purely luck, and as I said to you earlier, being an ethnic female was my biggest strength, because when I went for the audition for the presenter, the other 5 girls were all Asian females. And I looked at myself and I just thought, well, clearly Channel 4 want to tick a diversity box, and they want the next presenter to be an Asian female. And with me, they had a great story, because I was a runner. So suddenly in the Mirror and the Sun, it was like, General Dog's body makes famous presenter. And you know what? People might have laughed at me at the time, but it got me to where I needed to be, and it was my advantage. So don't ever think that you being a woman of colour is a bad thing. I can't tell you how much it will work to your advantage, but always keep your sexual reputation really, really clean. Because I can't tell you how much, you know, if you're a cute girl or you're pretty or whatever, even if the rumours about you are not true, those rumours will cut your career dead. So always, even if you have to be cold, but it's better to be a cold bitch than to be a loose woman in any sort of field or industry. So really kind of hold on to your reputation quite tightly. Yeah, it really is true. And that's my story.
Well, my story is completely different because firstly, can I just say I'm really happy to be here. I really am. I think if you can see I'm beaming with smiles like this because I'm so happy to be here. For the simple reason being that I don't often get the opportunity to meet my audience. As you know, I do television work for BenTV. That is because several letters to ITV and to Channel 4s and to BBC, the likes of those media, I suppose, powerhouses, failed to recognize me. So BenTV and OBN where I started out, recognized me, and as a result of that, and I'm glad to say that I do get 1.3 million audience every week. Also, I've spoken about the opportunities outside the UK. Now what I do, which is one of the reasons I'm really happy to be here, is that I follow the media calendar. Because I run my own production company, which is a production house. I do documentaries, I also do short films. But because I follow the media, I suppose media calendar, so last week I was at Bob TV in Abuja. The week before that I was at the World Content Market in Prague. The week before that I was in Ghana for the Discup TV festival. Next month is in South of France for the Meet TV, which is one of the biggest content markets, I suppose, in Europe, and I suppose in the world as well. So I'm always traveling, I'm always on the go. Every month, at least twice a month, I'm always out. So to actually be here and meet my audience, and meet people that may know about me, is really, really exciting. So I'm really, really pleased to be here. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, and I think one of the reasons I think for me that being a TV presenter is very important is because I wanted to make a difference in the market. I wanted to show people that, you know, if you look at the TV and many of the articles and I suppose that comes out from television, it's always negative about black people. Who the hell are these people to be so negative? And what is very sad about the whole situation was that we do not have people that stand up and speak up against it. We just say, oh, well, it's the media, let us just get on with it. But I just think it was wrong. It was so wrong that I felt, well, if Channel 4 doesn't want me, if ITV doesn't want me, if BBC doesn't want me, I tell you what, I'm going to make my own path and I'm going to get there. And now people recognize me. And somebody said to me, oh, brother, we've got a TV channel in the US, we want to sign you on, do you want to come? I said, hey, girl, I'm coming. I am coming, baby, I am going to the US, I don't care. But also, the Nigerian market is a big market for me. and people are recognizing me in the Nigerian market, which is great. Nigeria, 150 million audience. Can you imagine? What a brilliant audience to have. So to me, that's a great market. The Ghana market is a great market. I'm doing my show there in Ghana sometime this year. So I'm really looking forward to that. Again, Nigeria as well. I'm doing my show again in Nigeria this year sometime. And I'm going to be back in the EU as well. Because I do have some work with the EU, which I do on my television show. So also having an accent has not helped me at all. Because I remember once, I don't know if I can say this, and please do edit this. Trisha's production company, I remember approaching them because I wanted a mentor. You know, my sister would say, brother, how come you're on this useless channel? Go and find yourself a better channel to go. Why are you here? Go to channel 4, go to channel 5, go to this. So I have a lot of pressure for my family to succeed in a bigger network, you know. So I thought, well, this is it, I'm going to call these people and go. But it didn't work. And so I kind of lost my train of thought there, but I was going to tell you something really exciting. So I'm really, really excited about being here. So I'm so sorry if I just speak fast, because I really am excited. So, but now people know I'm really looking forward to doing other shows elsewhere. And also going to Prague and people recognizing me and saying, well, Rhoda, you're here, we want to talk to you when we get back. 90% of the time they don't. But hey, it's nice the fact that they feel they want to talk to me. I'm happy that I'm doing very well in my show. Last month, or was it this month, I was named one of the top 20 inspirational women on the African diaspora. So this is very, very good. Also, I won the, I suppose, the Best TV Presenter Award back in 2009, which is the Black Entertainment Fashion and Film Award back in 2009. And that, darling, propelled me beyond words. Because of that, doors open for me that will never open. Yes, I remember the story I was telling you so quick. Trisha, people, make sure it's edited. Trisha Production House. I called the man, I said, listen, you know, I need a mentor because my sister says I have to succeed. And since Trisha is doing ITV on, you know, I really must get her on board. The man says, you've got an accent, but the only good thing about you is that your face don't look like the back of a bus. So I'll consider you. But I was really hurt. And I thought, well, if it's like my face look like the back of a bus, that is a good thing. If it's the only thing that I need to work on is my accent, well, I could probably go to exhibition, and that's the word. So this is it. I tell you, I am going to get there. Do you know how I'm going to get there? Because I'm passionate. I am focused. And I tell you, we need to make some changes in the media industry. And I encourage you all, get into the media so that once they see many of us in there, we can start making the changes. We can start reporting positive things about us. And the other thing I have to say to you as well is, be light, smile, because these are the things that attract people. I remember when I was in Prague last time, let me tell you this, there were 3 black people in Prague, a big world market content. One of them was a security guard, the other one was a guy from LA, and the other person was me. And people saw me and they said, wow, where did you come from? I said, first I was born in Nigeria. Oh my God, 419. I said, no, we're not like that. We're great people, really. And I have to go on and explain to them that we're great people. They end up falling in love with me. Can you see? I've changed people's perception. What they thought that Africans are this, Nigerians are this. By the time I left, I tell you, everybody's been LinkedIn me, and I'm all their friends now. So it's just quite great. And people remember me because they say to me that every time we see you, you're always smiling. Yes, that is me. Smart, and people will like you, and you'll be successful. So I wish you all the best, and thank you for having me.
Wow, top that, Ellen. Hi everybody, my name is Ellen Thomas and I'm an actress. I have been for the last 20 and quickly I'll tell you the reason why actresses never tell you their age. Many years ago, I went to an audition and I walked in and it all went well and I thought I got the job and it felt good. As I'm walking out, somebody on the panel said to me, oh, by the way, how old are you? And so bravely I said, oh, I'm 23. Oh dear, what a pity. You're far too young to play the part. I was like, yeah, but, I will never do that again, I said to myself, cost myself a job. So that's one of the reasons why actresses never tell you their age. No, but briefly, I've been in the business for 20-something years, and from the age of 9, I have been passionate about being an actress.
I pestered my parents about it. I went to Saturday morning ballet classes, drama classes, just so that I could do this. And I remember about a couple of years into doing this, we used to do performances for mums and dads and so on, the local charities and so on. And I remember the excitement, the love, the desire, all of it, that I said, oh my God, this is so wonderful, I could do this forever. And the ballet teacher said to me, but you know you can? I said, what, you mean I can? Yes, you could do this. You could make it a career. I thought, you mean somebody's going to pay me to have this much fun? Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's how the love started. And I'm happy to say, 20-something years later, I'm still as passionate and I'm happy to be paid to do what I love. That's what I want to inspire you to do today. First thing I want to say to you is, an advice that somebody said to me is, what do you really want? I remember thinking about it and thinking, oh my God, what do I really want? Oh, I want lots of money. No, it's not about that. What do you really, really want? So that's what I want to ask you all to just think about it for yourselves. What do you really, really want? Because the law of attraction says what you really, really want. If you really, really want it, you will be attracted to it and it to you. Likewise, if you continue to think about things that you don't want, those are the things that will be attracted to you. One of the things I want you to take away with today is, please think positively. The law of attraction says you attract things, people, situations to yourself. For the love of God, attract only the good. Attract only the positive. Because it is a power that has been blessed to you. Yes? So please do that. I'm a living, breathing example of that. People say to me, oh, Ellen, you're always working. I always see you on television. You're always working. Yes, because when I'm on set, I'm a really, really nice person. They all want to be around me. I do my homework. I learn my lines. I check my character. I go to the extent where I go to the street and find the character. Look at how they walk. Look at how they dress. Look at them and say, okay. And because my imagination is my work, I imagine, I put myself in that person's shoes and do that. Those are all things that come naturally with my job. But again, I do the work, I do study. At the moment, I'm thinking my business, my industry is changing. It is changing as we speak. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, Ellen, how do you accommodate the changes going on in your industry? I want to put that same question to you. How can you, each and every one of you, accommodate the changes going on in your business, in the industry, the career that you have chosen? When I left college and started working as an actress, there was no such thing as Twitter, blogs, Google. There was no Facebook. Now, that is where it's at. So I have to be on top of all of that. Have a Twitter page, blog, Facebook personality, and so on. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know what your careers are, what business you're in, but you need to start to look at that. You need to see how you can place yourself so that you are so unique, what you have to offer. My colleagues here have said about writing letters, emailing and so on. Yes, but email people and tell them how you can benefit their organization. I have this to offer. You need this. Take this. Do you know what I'm saying? So nobody's going to do that for you. It's the same way that as an actor, no one's going to learn my lines for me. I have to learn my lines. I have to do character research. I've just come back from the Isle of Man, where I was working with Ray Winston in a new film that he's doing called Ashes, and it's about senile dementia. I had to go online to find out about senile dementia, the nurses that work with them, how do they, what do they like, and then build my character, the nurse I'm playing, who looks after him. I had to do that. No one's going to do that for me. The director, the producer, nobody's going to do that. I got to do that. There's things you've got to do that nobody else can do, and you know what those things are. You know, it's gone are the days when you wait for somebody to, you've got to be proactive. It's your career, it's your life. Nobody's gonna, David Cameron's not gonna do anything about it. If he can, he'll take it away. He'll take away all, you know what I'm saying? You You've got to do that, and we've got to not be lazy. It's easy to not, you know, oh, I'll just have a cup of tea, watch TV, and yeah. No, not anymore. It's not good enough. Not when every job, everybody in here, your job, there are 300, 400, 500, 600 people looking, you know, to get it. They are laying people off left, right, and centre. What have you got? What can you do to stop them laying you off? How valuable are you to your company, your business, your organisation, that you're not the one that they're going to lay off? Those are some of the things I want to talk to you about today. I want to think outside the box. I know it's a cliche, but it really, really works. I'm moving on. I mean, I'm moving into producing and directing, even though, as an actor, I can have a career that goes on till I'm in my 80s, 90s, you know, God willing. But I want to move on. I want to start to give something back. I want to start to just inspire other people. So those are just some of the things that, when you write your email, don't do the dear sir, my name is. No, write a cheeky little letter to them. I used to do that. The kind of letter that makes them say, oh, is this ever? Bring her in for an interview. Yes. And when you get there, be prepared, do your homework, so that they do give you the job. They do want you in their organisation. They do want you around. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes? Yes. Okay. That's really it. But I didn't even tell you what about, you know, you've seen what I do. You've seen me in loads of various things. But that's what's behind it. I have to think positively. I can, because I know that I'm attracting. And it is also, I'm living, breathing it. So I can talk about it. It's not just textbook stuff. It's not the theory. I am the living, breathing reality of that. Yeah? I don't slack. I can't afford to. There's a whole lot of people behind me waiting to, you know. But there's also a lot of people waiting for me to open doors for them. So that's the next direction that I want to go in. Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. Truly inspirational. Truly inspirational. Right, what I heard and what I got from these three lovely ladies here is that it didn't happen for them overnight. They worked and they worked and they worked at their passion. They stayed true to their passion. 15, 20 years still going, keeps you going, yeah? I want to open up the workshop now to some questions. So, yeah, nice big voices, I'm not sure.
Hello, I just want to say thank you to the panel. Hello, my name is Lisa Anderson. And thank you to the panel for sharing your stories of journeys to success. What I got from you all is that you're incredibly positive, determined women, but we all have those times when, you know, we might suffer rejection, what we see as failure. But what I want to get from each of you is, what have you used to, you know, re-energize yourselves, keep on track, whether it's having a mentor, faith to rely on? What are those key tools that you use, those resources that you use to keep yourselves on focus?
Well, I'm in the profession where rejection is an everyday thing. Very, very early on, I had to come to terms with, particularly as an actress, I had to come to terms with the fact that the rejection may be, they wanted a taller actress and I'm not that tall. They wanted a shorter one and I'm not that short. They wanted a fatter, thinner, all of those, and I wasn't that. I was just me. So deal with that. So it's not, they're not rejecting me as me. They're rejecting based on whatever they. But apart from that, I've for about 5 years now, I've been into meditation, and I find that the most amazing thing, just being able to be quiet, center my mind, and listen. And some of the things I've heard, what I call God speak to me, and there are times when I've gone, if I wasn't quiet, I would have missed that because it was a whisper. Really. So if you can get into that, find the quiet time, find that. A lot of people have very busy lives, with children, husbands, work, all of that. But if you can start with like 5 minutes. And when you first start, 5 minutes is a long time, but it isn't really. Start with 5 minutes and build, just quiet quiet your mind. That is what I do. And also I pray. I'm a big, big prayer guru. I take it all to the Almighty in prayer every day. That's what I do. I'll probably say I'm similar because I'm Christian, so my faith is very important. So they're challenging times, and I tell you, when you're in the media business, it is hard. It is very, very hard. But it doesn't mean you should give up. So again, I go to church on Sunday, I pray, and I look for guidance during the week. And where I come across challenges, I always say to myself, maybe it wasn't meant to be. You know, there must be something greater out there for me. So that's what I do. And I also have a very good friend, Betsy. And I'm sure she's very surprised I called her because she's my great friend. Nothing in this world that I can't call her about to do with my business. And she'll just listen. Just, oh yeah, oh gosh, what are you going to do? Just by talking to somebody, it does help. So she's a great person to have in my life. So I can certainly say thank you, and obviously to God as well. So that's what I do.
The way I deal with rejection is I have a lot of self-belief. And also I know that the way to turn a negative into a positive is to be a good translator, and I'll explain those things to you. My self-belief is that when I began, I knew that I had studied really hard. I really knew that I knew my industry. I lived and breathed. I'm in music, but I'm also in television. I went to all the underground hip-hop raves and jams. I grew up with that culture and lifestyle. I grew up in Southall and Harlesden and Wembley, so my areas were very diverse. I was around every kind of person, every colour, every class, every kind of music. I knew that when I went to uni, I brought a different point of view from all the other people who were at Surrey University. They didn't understand my story, but I understood theirs. So I had an advantage over them. When I went into the workplace, I understood that when it came to my culture, the music I loved and making TV, my ideas were unique, and I knew that I was better than everyone else. And even if I'm really not, if you tell yourself that you are, even when I'm within my TV industry, when I first started at MTV, it was as hideously white as they say the BBC was. You know, it's a lot of people there. You know, they look down on you. They're all Oxbridge trained and educated. You don't speak like them. You don't look like them. You know, a lot of them wore combat pants and flip-flops to work every day and t-shirts. My mum and dad. My mum's from Mauritius and my dad's from Kenya, so they come from a very traditional old school background. And my mum was always about being very feminine. Don't let your femininity go. Don't be embarrassed about being a woman if you're around men, but be respectful. My dad was about, you know, you don't have to dress like them, because I'd go back home and, you know, people around where I work everyone was very slick, everyone had the best trainers, everyone looked cool. People at MTV all looked like tramps. And my mum used to say, well, maybe you should fit in with them. My dad would say, no, maybe you should just be your own person. And you know what? Being my own person has helped me. Like, people used to look at me, and I know they used to say, why is she wearing heels at work? Why is she wearing a blazer? Who does she think she is? But you know what? Power dressing helps me feel confident. I'm small. You know, I don't have the advantage of being a tall woman who can wear flip-flops to work with a dress and look elegant. If I dress like that, I look like a frumpy tramp, probably. So I need to dress the way I feel strong. So if you have a unique style, have belief in yourself. And within my career, I've had lots of my bosses reject show ideas. You know, they didn't understand hip-hop culture, or I put on Kojo's Comedy Funhouse or Harvey's Young Gods of Comedy, and they didn't understand. You know, I was saying to them, but these young people who love music at MTV, they really like going to comedy shows. This is a culture and a lifestyle. I wish you'd come with me. I wish you'd look at it. And they were like, no, Jazz, we're a music station. It doesn't really work like that, etc. So on a couple of occasions, I took my bosses with me and I said, look at this scene. Kojo had queues of people around Oxford Street for Coke Cork's wine bar. You know, Harvey had a following, and translating is what you have to be good at, because you come from somewhere in a place where you know stuff that your bosses might not have a reach into. And so the first time I tell them an idea, if they don't understand it, I will come at the rejection from another angle, because there are lots of roads to convince and persuade them to do things. And a lot of times when I've managed to, like Angie Lamar, I don't know if you know Angie Lamar, she did The Brothers, which was a show at Hackney Empire. She travelled and toured it around the UK. The thing I loved about it was it had young musicians and actors like Richard Blackwood and Harvey and Jason Barrett in it, and I loved it, and I thought, if only I could televise this. And my boss said, oh no, we couldn't do that because we don't televise theatre for TV. Theatre is a different medium, television is a different medium. I was trying to explain to her that, you know what, people who watch MTV Base would love to see this, and not everybody gets to go to the theatre. She looked at me, and then I came at her with, she did the thing about, we don't have any money, we don't have budget. So most people at that point will say, all right, I tried the idea and that's the end of it. I'm not someone who's going to quit on something, so I will say to my team, do you believe in it? I will convince my team. They will be convinced, because even if they're not, by the time I finish, my friends always used to say to me, you're very manipulative. You could convince people that the sky was pink with yellow spots, even if it was blue. So if you believe in something, you'll convince and you'll persuade people towards your idea. And eventually, I said to my boss, we're going to do it and we're not going to pay for it. Me and Angie are going to do it in our spare time. And she said, well, if you can do it and the quality's good enough, I might give it a late slot. So to cut a long story short, we did it, and she put a lot of her own money and budget into it. I helped bring the team into it, the camera, equipment work. We aired it. It was a long, hard journey. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't as easy as taking my own camera crew to do it. But it aired, it rated, it got so much press, people loved it. MTV put it on a better slot in the evening, they repeated it and repeated it. And you know, the moral of the story is, if you can translate your idea and come at it from a different road and convince people and be persuasive, enthusiasm and energy really goes a long way. So if you get rejected, don't have that chip on your shoulder. Like, everyone can see a chip on your shoulder. The one thing you guys have said is be happy. And you know what, sometimes you're going to be mad inside. You're going to want to shout and swear, and you just want to ring up your friends and go, never believe what they just said to me. But do that with your friends, but as a public face will always be classy and cool. I've been in areas where I've, you know, thought I'm going to have an antagonistic meeting today, this is going to be awkward, etc. And I've told myself, and I still do it today, I say, whatever happens today, however bad things get, you will always act with class and dignity. And I tell myself that, and even though inside I want to really let loose, I know I'll do that in the gym later on. So just be classy, be dignified, be strong, believe in yourself, and be a translator, because people already look at us and they have preconceptions of what we like, what we eat, what we wear, how we speak. So prove them wrong.
Can you actually just, where you're at, your name, just really project your voice? I want to keep the mic down this end. So let's go ahead.
Hi, my name's Vanessa. I just have a question, maybe for everybody on the panel. I'm 24 and a lot of my friends are really ambitious young women. And we were talking the other day, there's so much pressure on us to have it all now. Like, I graduated 3 years ago and I feel like this is immense kind of pressure on my shoulders of, you know, when you have a lot of people around you saying, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I've got my own business, I'm everyone's calling themselves businessmen, you kind of feel like, oh, I'm struggling. And then a lot of young women are getting depressed, like sometimes we feel really low because we feel like, okay, by 25 I should have my own mortgage, car. It's kind of like, it's changed, I guess, when you guys are starting out. So I don't know what advice you give young women like myself in terms of how do we deal with it, because even like on TV, you've got show that the Kardashian sisters, they're young with this money, the heels, and it's kind of, it does subconsciously make you feel like you want to kind of get to where you're going fast. So kind of how do we deal with that? Because it's sort of like an expectation that at our age you have everything.
I would say to you, don't believe the hype. There's a lot of hype. No, seriously. I think when I was your age, I don't know how you are, Carl, but I know you're not my age. Right, when I was your age, we didn't have so much internet access. Now what I'll say to you is everyone is an online gangster on Twitter and Facebook. They really are. They really will say, I'm the CEO of my own company. They're not, but it's great PR for them. People can write anything to you on Twitter and Facebook. They can pretend to be a million different people. I promise you, people don't believe the hype, you know, when it comes to that stuff. Having worked with showbiz people, celebrities, Richard Bransons of the world, I'll tell you that no one is ever worth the money that you think they are. When people look a certain way, they've had hours of hair and makeup. When people are given expensive shoes and clothes, they're all PR and marketing opportunities. Mostly they give that stuff back. So everyone who you're watching, who think they're doing really well, the ones that are talking about it aren't doing it. If you're doing it, you're not talking about it. Do you know what I mean? So focus your energies, and I'll just end this bit with social networking, even though it's great, I promise you it will dumb you down. People are on Twitter and Facebook all day long on their phones at home. Set yourself a limit. Say, you know what? I'll look at it when I'm stuck in traffic. I'll look at it when I'm at home, when I'm multitasking and I'm lying on the sofa. Do not look at it all day long. It will distract you. You won't do the proactive stuff for you and your career. Like, I'm not sure what careers you're in. I wonder if when you speak you can just tell me or tell the panel what you're interested in, whether it's legal or fashion or media, etc., etc. I hope that makes sense. Pressure,
and I tell you, I get it all the time. This is from my own family. Not only from Twitter and Facebook. Because I'm not married, I have no kids, I'm trying to find a boyfriend, and that is not hard. Pressure, darling, I sympathize with you and I empathize with you because I'm going through that every day. What I can only say is be yourself. You know, have the right people around you. Are you doing all the things you're supposed to do? Because sometimes when you lose focus, it's because you're not doing the things you're meant to be doing. What do you want to do? Where do you want to be? How do you want to get there? That is what you should be focusing about. I just what Jasmine said. Most of the things in the newspaper and the press, they're all, can I say this, cack, rubbish. It's not true. It is just to sell paper. But you should focus on yourself, focus on what you want to be, and make sure you have the right people around you, because they are the ones that are going to guide you. And I think somebody once said, if you have negative people around you, move away from that. You know, get the positive people around you. And sometimes I just meditate on my Bible, because that is the only way I can get strength when things are very, very tough. So that's what advice I'll give to you. And don't worry, you'll get there. Don't let anybody pressure you. Tell me, I'm going to sort them out.
Okay, well, it goes back to exactly what I said to when I first started, when I spoke. What do you really want? It's not about all the other people or anybody else. And sometimes it's not even about what your parents want for you, because we all know what our parents want for us. It's about you. What do you really want? You can take as long as you want to get to where you want. Be as passionate about it. But it's about you. It's not with everybody else, really, seriously. Which is why, you know, I talked about meditation. Meditate about it, about what you really, really want. Because sometimes when you quiet your mind, what you really want will come to the forefront and it will be clear as anything. So please stop looking at it. It's like what Jasmine and Rhoda said. It's all hype. They've got to do that stuff to sell papers and magazines and all the rest of it. You know, some of the most amazing people who you admire, look at their lives. Do you know what I'm saying? Look at what they're doing. They didn't follow that, what everybody else. They were taking the road less traveled. You know, your Oprah Winfrey's, your Richard Bransons, and even the American President Obama. They were all outside the box thinkers. They didn't follow that route. They didn't worry about what everybody else was saying. It was about what they really, really, really wanted. Okay?
Wow. So we've answered the question about being rejected. It's not in their dictionary. No. They hear it, they might feel it, but it doesn't stick. They rely heavily on self-belief, praying, and I like that translation, looking at something differently. That's cool. And yeah, don't believe the hype, because that's all it is, hype. Question again. Actually, sorry, can I just ask you just to raise your hands when they're coming to an end of answering the question session, just keep your hands up. Okay, sorry.
My name's Emma. I have an events company called Kamuna, and it specialises in cultural, urban and faith-based events. Just kind of going along what you said, Ellen, about saying what you can offer, I would like Kamuna to be the #1 events company and company that people come to when they want to get cultural, urban and faith-based speakers. So if any of you would like to be one of the speakers out, thank you, please let me know. My question is related to how women find that balance. Sorry, I'll try to speak louder. Just give it a My question is related to how you find that balance between being a nice woman, but a woman that doesn't get misunderstood in terms of your sexuality. It just goes back to what you were saying before about how to strike that balance, because you know that idea of either be a bitch or you're too soft and people will take advantage. Could you expand a little bit on that and kind of give examples of how you got out of tricky situations? Yeah.
I think people, we all do it. We look at people and we all immediately will judge someone on what they look like, how they sound, how they're dressed. And I think, especially if you're a woman, you have to always be a little bit cooler than a man would. A man will smile and be friendly, and he might be tactile while he's talking to you, and he might, be that might just be friendly and professional. People won't look at that as being flirty or overly sexual or forward. With a woman, they might, and they probably will, because hip-hop and R&B and all the media stereotypes about us tell society that we're probably like those girls in the videos. We're not. We're all very ambitious. We have brains, we have minds. I don't know if any of you saw a BBC Three show recently called Hip Hop Honeys. And I watched it and I was outraged and I was furious, and I thought the people who made the programme, and it was clearly a case of a producer or a journalist had decided that they had a story about that culture, they wanted to make a show about it, they hadn't done their research right, so they only used the people who were going to prove their story and their idea and version to be right. And the girls in the documentary were happy to be seen as, loose, ready for anything, available at any time. American hip-hop honeys get paid thousands for what they do. There's a sense of class about them, even though they're not really classy, because however you look at it, they are shaking their asses in a music video. Do you know what I mean? My thing is, if you're a great mover, why can't you be a dancer? Why can't you be a choreographer? Why can't you go into West End theatre? Why can't you teach dance? There's different ways of going at it, and I think when you're a woman, just to be that extra bit professional. And a woman of colour, you do have to work doubly as hard. If you're of colour, you have to work harder anyway, but being a female, you have to be one step better than everyone else. So if and when you're delivering your projects in whichever field you guys work in, make sure yours is better than everybody else's. Do your research, come at it one stage higher than everybody else. That way your class and your sexual reputation isn't at question, because you've delivered amazing standard of work. Does that make sense?
When I do business, I always stick to business is business and pleasure is pleasure. And I don't have pleasure until I've done my business. And seriously, I don't. But I'm very, very strict with people I work with. I don't take nonsense from anybody. And I don't care who you are or what you do. And I'm very, very, I think this is why one of the comments that was made in the fact that when I was named one of the top 20 inspirational women was, I've got good work ethics and I'm credible. What I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do. And I've got integrity, and I protect that at all costs. Because that is the only way people can give you that respect that you worked hard, so hard to get. So for me, this is what I do. I am very strict, and I also, in a way, it may not be an ideal thing, but it works for me that when I have meetings, I try to have it on a Monday to Friday and from 9 to 5 o'clock. So if I start having a meeting with a new person, a man in the evening, that gives him a wrong idea. So I'm very strict with that, with my timing and when I have meetings. So for me, timing is very important, being strict is very important, having integrity is very important, and having credibility to me is very important. So this is how I work.
Well, as you know, in my business, it's called the casting couch. And I've never been one to actually be involved with that. Right from the very, very beginning, I was very clear that's not the route I'm going to take. Therefore, like Rhoda said, the audition, if it was at a weekend in a hotel somewhere, I'm not coming. It's not a job I want. In fact, one of the very first jobs that I missed out on, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the film, but I won't tell you because then you'll know. I was invited to come to the audition at 11:30, and I thought 11:30 a.m. It was at a hotel, so I thought 11:30 a.m. at a hotel, only to get told no, 11:30 p.m. at the hotel. I said, actually, I don't want this job badly enough. No, thank you. Do you know what I'm saying? Right there and then, he knew I was not the casting couch type, because there was no way I could go to that audition 11:30 p.m. and then when he made a pass, turn around and say no, it don't go so. You know? So there's no way, there's no excuse for it. So I didn't go down that route. No, I haven't gone down that route because I always feel it will backfire on you. It will come back to haunt you when you least expect it. So my advice to you is don't even go there. Like Rhoda and Jasmine said, go for integrity. Go for, in the business, the few actors that have come very, very strongly, it's called Ellen is like romancing the stone. And I was like, yeah, that's right. Do you know what I'm saying? Have a reputation, and have a reputation for being somebody who has integrity, who has respect, self-respect. Let that be something people say about you. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah?
Example that you just reminded me of is if you don't want people to think you don't mean business, then don't dress like it. Do you know what I mean? Recently we did something at City Hall with Boris Johnson and Trey Songz. A lot of journalists were there, a lot of my peers, younger women. There were a lot of women there, as you can imagine. The women backstage at City Hall in front of all these dignitaries, the journalists who had been in the game a long time were dressed for business. The girls who were in it to get spotted and maybe a little bit more didn't look like they meant business. And it was embarrassing and it was humiliating. And I'm looking at them thinking, why are you dressed like that? You know? You wouldn't go to an office and dress like that every day. You're working right now, you're at City Hall, even if you weren't at City Hall, even if you were at Shepherd's Bush Market doing an interview with Trey Songz, dress like you mean business, because then people won't misinterpret it.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to go up the back. Just one thing, Ellen mentioned earlier, on the back end of something that Jasmine had mentioned earlier as well, about the modern way that we communicate and to send emails. Please make sure when you are doing that, that your email address isn't bootyshaker.what have you, okay? Okay.
Quick question. I'm a businesswoman.
Really loud, please.
I'm a businesswoman. I also mentor young people. I'm also a mother. How can we create that work and mother, home life balance for those that are mothers?
I'm not a mother, so I'll be really quick. But I do have a personal life now, and it's taken me many years to understand that you have to balance the business and personal life. Otherwise, before you know it, life passes you by, and you realise that all your friends are married with children, and actually you've done great in your career, but oh my God, where are my children? Yeah? So remember, work on your career in your early years and everything, but make time for those important moments, because, your daughter looks like she has quality time with you, and this is beautiful. Yes, exactly.
Okay, I'm going to be quick as well because I'm not a mother, but the only thing I can say is I do try and have a me time every Friday night with my girlfriends, and we go salsa dancing. So we dance for 6 hours because that's the only way I can really relax. So that's what I do. I have a me time every Friday for 6 hours. So.
I'm not a mother either. Well, I'm an auntie. I'm an auntie to some fabulous, fabulous young men and women. But one of the things I want to say to you is that very, very important is exactly what you've done. You are her role model. You are the most important role model she is ever going to have. So make time, make special time for you guys. That's the only thing, and balance it out, as Jasmine said. But make sure that you are the best role model that she can have, yeah? Make time for you. She'll only copy everything that you copy. That goes to all the women, you know, with children. You all know that, you know. Some of the problems that we're having that the media always picks on is, you know, young people, gun, knife crime and all that. I always say it comes back to the parent in the home is the role model. Yeah? I'm going to leave it there.
There's been a lot been made about women telling new employers about whether they have responsibilities like children and everything. And what I would say to you is I do interviews every day. I wouldn't ask anyone if they had children or other responsibilities, but I don't think you have to ever declare it, because even if you get the job, as long as you are doing and delivering and not letting the fact that you're a mother get in the way of your job, there should be no reason that an employer needs to question that. Because you know what, in all honesty, women who are either at an age where they might want babies or an employer assumes you're going to want to settle down, they're going to probably subconsciously think, should I invite her in for the job or not? So don't feel you have to declare that stuff. If you go as a businesswoman, you're only talking business.
Thank you. Well, as a mother, it is about balance. It is about sacrifice. They've made it as well. And after having my second child, I've got two children. I've got a 14-year-old boy and a 10-year-old daughter, son and daughter. Going back to work after the second child, I decided I'm going to go back to work part-time. I'm there to take them to school, I'm there when they are home from school. Okay? It's a sacrifice. They need me now, they're going to need me till probably 60s, 70s, well, I'll be gone by then anyway. But the fact is, we need to be there. Our parents did it, we can do it as well. Okay? Right, that's enough of that. Yes.
Hi, sorry, I'm Hakma. I do music, I sing, but also I've been doing it for a good few years now. I came down to London to do music from the age of 18. Now, because I've not got any support in like parents or anything like that, and I've done it all myself, I had to actually get a job to do that. So now, I've kind of lost my way. I work in property now, I do property, but also my main passion is music and I really want to do that. How can you do it now? Let's say if I like let go of the property side, want to do the music thing, how can I get back into doing that by surviving?
What's your passion in music?
Singing.
Well, the one great advantage you have is that you haven't sat back and not done anything. Property is a great market to be in, and if you're earning a wage that keeps you awake and alive, then that's the first positive step that you need to acknowledge. If whilst you're doing that, you can part-time, evenings, weekends, get involved in your hobby more. The problem now is everyone wants to be a singer. Everyone. And there are a million of you. And not the best ones make it. The ones that make it are the ones that have a great team around them, a great marketing team. Sometimes a completely detached manager won't be able to sell you. Your best friend, who knows how good you are and what your unique selling point is, might be able to sell you better. So a lot of the singers you see in the charts now from our scene, what style of song do you sing? Okay, so that's also my field. All the ones that have made it because their friends, peers and contacts are people who manage, do A&R, you know, they have a strong team behind them. They go and do lots and lots of talent shows. They do I Love Live, which is a great setting for new up-and-coming hip-hop and R&B acts. You know, Chipmunk did it, Tinchy, everybody did it. So if you can get onto I Love Live, which is London's probably main showcase for young people who are trying to get through, get a break, get a buzz and people talking about it, you can continue working, you can keep earning money, and at the same time you've got your integrity because you haven't got to do the casting couch, you're independent. Do you know what I mean? Keep going at it. If you have the right team and support around you, you'll make it and you'll persevere. But people should see you. Write hit songs. If you have a hit song and a buzz, then people will hear about you. But people won't hear about you because of how you look or what you did, unless it's negatively. Have that hit song, because there are a lot of great singers out there. I go to church every Sunday, there are a million great singers out there. You know what I mean? Have that unique selling point, have a hit song, right?
Okay, I used to be a music promoter for my scenes. I used to do world music, and I used to go around in New York, France, and getting artists over to come here to perform. So I do know the challenges of being a singer, because when you work in the music industry, it is tough. The only thing I can say to you, Ms. Jasmine, is what we touched on, is the fact that do it part-time. I wouldn't give up my full-time job, something that pays the bill, that covers, put a roof over your head. I would do it part-time.
Yeah, I was actually working 2 jobs. I was working during the day and the weekend as a waitress. So now I'm just giving that up because I really need to concentrate on this.
Okay. It's great, Do you have a club you perform at regularly? Find a club that you can go to perform, they get to know you, and people scout. I used to remember when I was a music promoter, I used to scout as well for other people. I don't do it anymore because it's 6 years ago. But I used to scout, so find a club that you can perform and just go to them and say, listen, I don't know if you've heard of the story of Lady Gaga, the way she started. Hey, she's an inspiration. Okay, I don't like her music. You could follow that kind of things, and you could do that, like go, start going to club, sing, and and also find somebody you can collaborate with, you can work with, and I've lost my contacts, so I'm not a good person to probably advise. I think my husband would be, so that would be more her than gentlemen, so
yeah, very, very quickly. What did I write down? Again, I want to encourage you to think outside the box. Justin Bieber, you know what he did? What can you do? Who do you know? Friends of friends of friends. Somebody who is a fashion designer, who can give you an image. Lady Gaga is a good one. She would have been lost in the of music if she didn't have an image and a style. Nicki Minaj, she's come at it from another angle. Do you know what I'm saying? Think outside the box. What image can you project now that everybody's going to go, oh my God, and she can sing? Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by think outside the box. Who do you know? There's lots of designers here. Is that something you want? One of the other things I would encourage you is make a list. Who do you know? What do they know? Who do they, 5, 6 people down the line know that can help you to get your website, to get you on YouTube, to help you write the song? Somebody who knows somebody who has a music studio. Can you give me free time, downtime, when, everybody's asleep? I'll come there at 10 p.m. at night, dressed appropriately. 10 p.m. when the studio's closed, that's the time you get in there, you cut the... Do you know what I'm saying? Think outside the box and be proactive. One of the other ways to do it is get excited about yourself. Get really, really passionate so that everybody wants, she's really, what's your name? Ak. Everybody's like, Ak, get involved with her. Check her out, listen to her music. She's got this, she's the next big thing. I want to be another. Get excited about yourself. That will attract other people who can help you to you. Yeah? Put it out there.
Actually, you're a songwriter as well, you know, a lot of people who have come to the pop music business have come by writing for people. Send your songs out, send them to A&R people, send them to record labels. Actually, Mervyn Lynn, who's here on the next panel, is at a record label, so maybe you can ask him.
Thank you. Right, I've got time for one more question. Okay, I'm going to go over this side of the room. Hi, sorry. Big voice, please.
My name's Ria. Hello. I just want to ask a question. In terms of having mentors, I know a lot of people spoke about having mentors. A lot of people.
A lot of people have mentors, and obviously this is a great venue to sort of discover some. But on a regular basis, when you are trying to get where you're trying to get to, and overcome the obstacles, where do you seek these mentors?
Where do we get the mentors?
Go networking and ask. That's what I do. I network. I'm a network babe. I'm always networking. And when you network, you see somebody you like, Helen, nice lady. Helen, I like you. Would you like to be my mentor? She can always say no or yes. She might say yes, which is great. If she says no, it's not because she doesn't like you. Maybe she just got a heavy workload and she cannot do it at this time. But you could say to her, if she says no, and say to her, could you recommend someone? Recommend someone. I'm not ashamed. I ask. I tell you, if I can ask Obama, I'll ask Obama. I will ask. That's what you can do.
I come from a different angle. No, I tell you why. I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of people approaching me for mentorships. The approach is really important, first of all. People now, because they text and do like great, GR8, etc., people will email me in that form, and I reply to everyone. Like, the thing I pride myself is, however bad the grammar is, I'll reply. But I will tell you that you'll never get a mentor if you write something informal, etc. Also, you're more likely to want someone to mentor you if you're already in their world. I mentor people that have done work experience for me, and I see them, I look at them and I go, do you know what, she's never let me down, she's really responsible, I'd like her to come in again, maybe I should push her for an internship. It's really awkward if someone sends you a cold email or approaches you and says, can you mentor me? I don't know you. You know, we've never met, I don't know what you're like, I don't know what your punctuality is like, whether you can represent me in my company properly. I would say get your foot in the door, do some work experience in the field that you want to work in, and get yourself to be someone's right hand. Someone who was my work experience girl at MTV years ago recently did a research job for me at Channel 4, and I put her forward for a job at ITV because she has never let me down. She's been my right hand for everything. Even if she's had to stay longer hours, even if she, anything that I ever needed, she was there for me. And I'm happy to mentor her. I'll go out of my way to find her jobs. But I won't do it for someone who just expects me out of obligation to help them, because none of us owe anyone anything. But if you help others, they'll help you back. So get your foot in the door, get someone to say, she's really good, I'd really like to push her.
Question is from the floor, who were your mentors?
Mine, when I was coming up, people like Mona Hammond, Carmen Monroe, a lady called Lucita, Norman Beaton, Rudolph Walker. Those are the type of people that I said, if they can do it, I can do it.
I currently have a mentor, Robin Abraham, and she's based in the US, and she's my mentor. She's a great lady. I actually met her in one of the networking events I attended for Women's International Women's Day at the hotel somewhere in London. And I asked her over a period of time, once she got to know me, whether she would become my mentor. And she says yes, and she's great. She's a great lady. And obviously, I have Elsie as well, whom I talk to all the time when I have issues. So yeah.
I have two mentors. One of them is a lady called Dawn Airy, who's a lady who's been in the TV business for many, many years. When I was a runner at Channel 4 and subsequently a presenter, she was the exec on the show that I made called The Word. And I've kept in touch with her over the years. Similarly, my second mentor is a lady called Fleur Sarfati, who was one of the heads of talent at MTV when I worked at MTV. The one thing that I will say to you about mentors is, it's really tough when someone approaches you and says, will you be my mentor? Because we're already really busy. We're thinking, oh, this is still more work, this is still time and energy. The way my mentors became my mentors, where they were in my life, they were within my companies, I'd approach them occasionally and we'd hang out and maybe have a coffee. I'd say to them, oh, I'm dealing with something right now, let me know when you're free, I want to ask your advice about it. And so eventually you have a relationship, you speak to them all the time, and before you know it, you're unofficially their mentee anyway. And I think that's a healthy way to approach it. Because if someone says to you, can you be my mentor? It's a lot of responsibility. I think the relationship has to grow organically.
And also, just very quickly, if you want somebody to be your mentor, you must have a clear idea where you want to go as well, because they can only guide you. And they can only do it for a short period of time, maybe 6 months, 1 year. But you can't expect your mentor to be there. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I've not had any mentor who's been there for like 2 to 10 years. But they do it for a very short time. So you can actually employ somebody or just ask. I know, I mean, we probably say it differently, but I would ask. I think
everyone's story is different. I mean, Dawn, Mary and First Arctic is still both in my life because we've kept up a relationship out of business. Because I think ultimately you have to. If you care about your mentee or mentor, you know, they're my mentors, but I mentor downwards as well. And so the people who I've finished mentoring, we still catch up for coffee, we still might have lunch. And I think it's got to be a two-way relationship. I still am in contact with them every day, and I think that's important.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for answering that. Just before I thank these 3 wonderful ladies, can I just remind you about your evaluation forms that you've got? We would really appreciate it, Inspirational, you would really appreciate it if you fill these forms out for us. It helps us to grow, and it helps us to know exactly how you feel about Inspirational You. Okay, I was supposed to go through some like health and safety things like fire exits out there, whereas I'll finish so, just want to say thank you all for attending. Once again, apologies for the late start, but it's been an absolutely brilliant workshop. I'm sure you all agree. Especially thank you to, as I said at the top, you are leading ladies, but I want to thank these leading ladies right here, okay? Jasmine, Rhoda and Ellen. My new best friends. Okay, we will be having another workshop in here entitled What Do Men Really Think? And that is going to be a really good one, okay? And we're going to have a panel of men. One of them is going up the stairs right now. And I don't know what the questions are going to be about. But some of them might get a bit under, yeah. So once again, thank you very much. And I hope to see you again. The next Inspirational You is going to be in June, and it's the 25th of June. Alright? Thank you very much, ladies.